Hello everyone, as you guys have guessed from the title and probably from the b-roll from before, that the Frontier server has been released, and that was a short clip that I took from Biscuit's stream. You can check him out on Twitch, the link will be in the description below, and he very kindly gave me all the footage of his gameplay as he does have a Korean account. So he was able to log on to the Frontier server, test play it, and give me his first impressions. Then I watched over his VOD and took out interesting parts and pieced it together to let you guys know what to expect from Unreal Engine 4. So first of all, I want to keep everyone's expectations low. I don't want to hype anyone up because the Unreal Engine 4, at least the Frontier server, does not look very promising. The performance overall is okay, however you need a very powerful PC. So for my Nvidia card users, if you have like a 9 series or below, you probably want to upgrade that to at least a 1060, a 1070 or above, maybe even the 20 series. Because from what I saw on multiple streams is people who had lower end graphics cards and lower end processors had a lot of performance issues. So for the footage that you saw earlier, that was on Biscuit's machine. So Biscuit has a slightly more lower end PC. It doesn't exactly meet the minimum requirements, however he does still have a 970. And he was able to play on everything on 4 with around 60 to 80 FPS. However, it did dip, and you'll see that later in the video. So another thing that I want to point out is there is a autoplay feature in the Frontier server. So from what I understand from the Koreans, they're telling me that the Frontier server is basically a port from the mobile version. So what they did is they basically take the mobile version of the Blade & Soul game and they ported it over onto the PC, and they just cleaned things up and made things look a little bit nicer. So there are certain functions that we do not have in our game in the West. So one is the autoplay feature. So you simply click on that and your character just starts killing everything around that area. So this feature is very interesting. I can see it being very useful in a mobile game since you can just leave it running on the background and let it do its thing. However, I don't think this will actually come to the final product, especially in the West, because it just doesn't fit our culture. But then again, the developers are Korean, so who knows? The second feature is your wind striding no longer has a cooldown, whether you have premium or not. However, it does cost copper to wind stride. This was an old thing that we had way back in the 45 patch days. However, I'm not sure if we're going to be getting this back again. Again, this is the Frontier server, so everything is subject to change. And finally, the third thing that was very different was the upgrade path system. So the upgrade path system seems to be the same as back in the 45 days, where you stuck with one weapon, your beginner weapon, and you had to upgrade it all the way till end game weapon. So that was also a very big change. I don't know if this is simply for nostalgic sake or if this is actually something that they're looking into and they want to make this into the new upgrade system. It's very interesting because when you're doing the quest, you get rewarded all these little scrolls, and these scrolls have different pictures on them. There are scrolls for rings, for earrings, for weapons, and you use these scrolls to give the weapon EXP in order to level up the weapon, and then at a certain level you need another weapon to break through. It's very similar to the 45 days for my OGs out there that have played the game since the beginning, since the beta. So this is a very interesting direction that it's going. But now to address the big ticket question is, how is performance? So performance is okay. It's better than what we have right now for sure. However, is it a lot better? I can't really say because the Frontier server literally just came out like 5 hours ago, so there are a lot of bugs, there are a lot of problems right now. So I feel like I shouldn't jump the gun and say that performance is rubbish and it's garbage, because I feel like a lot of these problems are going to be hotfixed very quickly. One of the biggest problems that was universal across all of the streamers was that they had random crashes. So you would go through a loading screen and your game would just crash and you'd have to reopen the game. The nice thing is, opening the game doesn't take very long. It's a lot faster than our current version of the game where it might take 2 to 5 minutes to even launch the game. So it's a lot faster now. It's like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and you can launch the game and get into your login and do all that stuff. So that is a plus. However, my main concern again will be performance in a raid environment. From what it looks like in open world, everything seems okay as long as you have a higher end GPU and CPU. I still would recommend at least a 7th generation CPU from Intel, or if you use AMD, the equivalent of that. I don't use AMD, so I'm not familiar with the coding or the branding for that. And then as for graphics card, again for the Nvidia side, you definitely want to look at least the 10 series or the 20 series. Those are probably going to be your benchmarks in order to run the game slightly smoothly. As for RAM, 8 gigs, 16 gigs, somewhere around that ballpark, and you should be fine. I was watching Skelly stream and he seemed to be fine, and his computer specs is pretty much the same as mine, except his graphics card is a little bit better. I have a 1060, he has a 1070. But his game seemed to run pretty well. He was lowering all his settings to potato settings though, so we're gonna have to see. However, the game on everything maxed out on 6 really does look gorgeous. You just need the hardware to back it up, because it really requires some really strong hardware to run everything on 6. I feel like they went a little bit too overboard on the bloom effect. It seems too bright and it's a little bit hard on the eyes, but we'll see how things go. So I'll keep you guys updated. This is really just like a first impressions of the Frontier server. But that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I would appreciate a subscribe. And I'm going to leave you with some stream highlights. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Hang on, dude. Keep going. I want to see how stable. Why is it all fucking yellow now? What the fuck? It was like, did God just take a fucking piss? What the
Oh man. Oh, my game crashed. Oh no, they're getting attacked! Hajun! No!
Who the fuck is Hajun? He looks like. Oh, it was a Lin. Read the letter!
Look, it's a Lin, Kupo. You can look at them. The tail doesn't look any different, by the way.
It looks like a hairbrush.
Are you happy?
What is this?
Oh no, it's the fiends! Save me! Oh, and your character gets paused every time I use the skill. Cool. Oh, my game shits itself as soon as it goes out. Nice. Turn off characters. Oh, slightly better.
Imagine if they had effects.
I can't move. Okay.
-5 FPS.
I can't move. Help! What do I do?
Hit escape.
Very nice.
Hit escape.
Can you not jump?
Can you SS?
Oh.
There you go.
Very cool. Oh, the wind stride's only 3 seconds. Pog! I don't want to know what this button does.
Right, I gotta go. What are you doing?
It's auto playing the game for me. Yes.
Yeah, see,
Wait,
you can
is
play,
it?
You can play with your phone that way and stuff.
It's autoplay. What? It's in-game macro.
That means you can just level with autoplay.
Wait, is it legit just going and finding things to attack?
Yes.
Look at that.
That's funny.
Look at a big shit up for me. Oh, Pog.
Leveling is great. I could go to work and
Imagine if we
level.
had this. Imagine if we had this back in Celestial Basin days, where you'd farm XP in Celestial Basin.
Oh, the game crashed.
What can I say except you're welcome for the heals, the boosts, the